So let me stray, please guide my way onto the path of my deen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, Allah, I'm calling your name. Oh Allah.
Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome to another edition of your favorite program, Let's Talk, of course, on your favorite channel, Huda TV. Please continue to support Huda TV and to let it to continue to be a light in every home, because truly Huda TV is one of the pioneer and premier English language Islamic channels, and we certainly could use your support and your intellectual support as well by logging on to www.facebook.com/HudaTV and share with us your ideas for new programs, for possible topics you would like us to discuss, as well as guests you would like to see appear on the Huda TV screen, inshallah. We've been broadcasting now for about 8 years, you guys, so we certainly hope to continue with the will of Allah. In this episode, you guys, we will be speaking about the blindness of the heart. Interesting topic. You know, most of us appreciate Allah has bestowed health on us, and we appreciate our vision. But what do we mean when we hear people say the heart is blind? His heart is blind. He's been blinded, although he has vision. It's an interesting topic. I believe this occurs in several verses of the Quran, and we have our Azhar scholar here, Brother Mukhtar Mahdi, to speak with us about that. And also we have some youth here from West Africa, Afghanistan, and lovely North London, inshallah, to be speaking about this topic as well. Tawfiq, assalamu alaikum, dear brothers.
Alaikum salam. Thank you for having us.
Hey, thank you so much. Perhaps, brother, you can start by bringing us the beautiful ayah that you quoted before we began recording, and then we can get the brothers' feedback on that, inshallah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. أولئك الذين طبع الله على قلوبهم فأصمهم وأعمى أبصارهم أفلا يتدبرون القرآن أم على قلوب أقفالها. So Allah is saying basically it is those people whose heart is blind, but they can see and they can hear. But Allah shut for them the seeing and the hearing of the truth, because they don't think. He say, أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنِ. Don't they think and read and explore the Quran? Or their hearts are sealed off not to see the truth.
Thank you, brother. Also in the beginning of Surah Al-Baqarah, I can't quite remember the ayah, but in the first 10 or 12 ayah,
exactly,
Allah has sealed their heart. Go ahead.
إن الذين كفروا وصدوا عن سبيل الله ثم شاقوا الرسول من بعد ما تبين لهم الهدى الشيطان سول لهم وأملى لهم. This is not actually the ayah from Surah Al-Baqarah. We will go to it, but it's related to the same meaning. The shaitan, the Satan, has brought evil into their heart, so they can't see or think, and they are struggling in life to see or to live with the spirit or the inner peace. Let's go, and I will remember the ayah from the Baqarah, or we could start from the beginning of the Surah Al-Baqarah.
Khatam Allah.
ختم الله على قلوبهم ختم الله على قلوبهم وعلى سمعهم وعلى أبصارهم غشاوة ولهم عذاب عظيم. ختم الله, Allah has sealed their hearts so they cannot see, and has blinded their eyes so they cannot hear or see the truth. There is an interesting thing that people now speak about, the capability of the heart. People are saying how they cannot see or how cannot they hear, and they have an eye and they have an ear.
Ears, right.
So they say, could you see with your ears and hear with your eyes? Could you?
No.
Anyone could? Okay, I'll ask the audience and us to close our eyes and think of your home. When you open the door and go into your home and you see, okay, open your eyes now. Did you see it?
Yeah.
You see your home, and
exactly,
you could imagine it. And how did you see it? How did you imagine it? By your ear. So Allah has blinded the complete work of their brain, so they cannot see the truth. And people will start thinking, is it the God's will or their will? Because if Allah has blinded them from seeing the truth, they will not see the truth. And how can Allah judge them and torture them and put them in hellfire if they don't actually have that capability? That's why in the first ayah was saying أَفَلَا تَدَبَّرُونَ الْقُرْآنِ. It is their start, it is their deed, not the God's wish, but it's their wish. You have the full capability of choosing which path to go.
But Allah has sealed.
Allah has sealed. But actually, if you go back, Allah has given them the ability to search and to see the truth more than one time. But they choose to ignore it once more. And that when it comes to an end, Allah say, مَنْ كَفَرَ بَعْدَ إِيمَانِهِ, who has left after his faith, who has left faith after he have it.
Yeah.
So he knew the truth. And people around Prophet Muhammad والسلام, peace be upon him, was known for truth, was known for good character. They have never tried him in lying. They knew, and they were waiting for a prophet. They knew that he was a prophet, and it was written in their book. But once he came, they denied it, like it's never written.
Right. Because Barakallahu, thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
Let's move to the brother here. I want you to introduce yourself. You were with us on the Eid program for Ramadan, but reintroduce yourself to the viewers and let us know where you're from also, inshallah.
Okay, first of all, thank from the Huda TV that gave me this opportunity to talk to my Muslim brothers and sisters around the world.
It's our pleasure.
And my name is Abdul Hakim Daranzeb. I am from Afghanistan and study in Azhar University.
Great. And how long have you been here studying for? It's your first year, or?
This is my first year.
Okay, great. And what part of Afghanistan are you from?
From Wardak province.
Wonderful. And so the native language there is Pashto?
Yes. All of the Afghanistan have two popular languages. The first one is Pashto, the second one is Farsi. It's also in English, Persian.
Okay. And you speak both of those languages?
Yes, no problem, without any problem.
MashaAllah, great. Wonderful.
Because this is our native language.
Okay.
Because my father is Pashtun and my mother is Persian.
Oh, okay. Great.
Like
okay, wonderful. Okay, interesting. So, brother, let me know, what do you think about this topic? The heart being blind. How can the heart be blind? It's just an organ in your body. What do we mean by that? What are these eyes of the Quran? What do they mean to you?
Okay. Like my brothers mentioned that, and I would like to share my information with you, inshallah. And ومن كان في هذه أعمى فهو في الآخرة أعمى وأضل السبيل. This means whoever blind in this life will be more blind in the next life. It means that in Akhirah. And what does mean this? And what the sense? Blind is physically or hurt? It's a kind of question, and it is physically blind or
figurative.
Or yes,
yeah. That's the question. Yeah, is it really literally blind or figuratively blind? Yeah.
And of course, that Allah speak about the blind hurts. It is talking those that physically is not physically, but they talking about the internally, about the deed, about the a'mal.
Yeah, spiritually.
Yeah, this one. And also, Hazrat Muhammad said, إن الله لا ينظر إلى قلوبكم إن الله لا ينظر إلى صوركم ولا أموالكم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم. That it means that Allah doesn't look at your body, that you are strong or not, and not that looking that you are your property, that you are rich or poor. But Allah look at your a'mal, and you look at your good deeds, and look at your heart. And also, we can, it is, if you're talking about the heart, can be changed and replaced. In 1967, one doctor by Christian Board, the first human being heart replaced.
Yes.
Replaced.
Yeah.
And he was alive for 18 days.
Yes, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Got his
And
heart transplanted.
Yeah. In 2001, also one doctor by the name, but unfortunately I forgot the name, he also changed. Like
His character, his
yeah, he changed the
Subhanallah.
human heart to the another, like
Okay.
that. But if he changed the heart, it's not completely change.
Yeah, I understand, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
like
I want to, I'm sorry, brother, to interrupt you. I want to get back to this topic, inshallah. We're going to take a look at a report. I'll come right back to you. You guys, we're going to take a look at a report concerning this topic, the blind heart. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Allah, I'm calling your name.
لم يسيروا في الأرض فتكون لهم قلوب يعقلون بها أو أذن يسمعون بها فإنها لا تعمى الأبصار ولكن تعمى القلوب التي في الصدور. Someone told me, a kid or a teacher, they said, you know, you can't do that, you're blind. And I didn't know what blind was. So when I went home, I asked my mom, so what's blind? And she said, you're not blind, you just can't see. When I took my shahada and I was hearing the Quran, I heard that ayah. And I'm like, that kind of solidified it as haqq for me, right? Because Allah said that literally. He said, you know, it's not your eyes that can't see, but it's the hearts that are what actually grow blind, right? So that's what I kind of meant when I said blind. To be blind is to be kind of disabled. And I didn't mean it from the eye sense, I meant it from the heart sense. Right? That's actually what the ayah means. It's like summun bukmun umyun fahum la yaqilun. Those people, they are deaf, dumb, and blind, and they don't have any intelligence, right? It doesn't mean that they can't hear and can't see literally, but their hearts are sealed. So they don't hear or see because of the seal that's on their hearts. Those are people that fail to understand what Islam is. Some of them are Muslims claiming to be, and some of them are not. But you can be, just because you say something doesn't necessarily mean you live up to it. You can be just as blind as anybody else. The king has a friend. This friend was blind, completely blind. Came to this ghulam, Jazakallah khair, he said, I'll give you all my wealth, all of it, if you heal my eyes. And the ghulam, he said, that I am not the one who heals, Allah is the one who heals, but I'll make dua for you. But you have to believe in Allah. So of course, Allah healed that friend of the king's eyes and he became Muslim. There's many hadith that are like that. There's one, the person who Allah has taken his two beloved ones from him, meaning his eyes, and he's patient with it, he's promised Jannah. There's a lot of stuff. It's empowering when you think of it, right? It's empowering because we're taught, وَإِذْ أَصَابَتْكُمْ مُصِيبَةٌ قَالُوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ. Like when a calamity comes to you or a trial comes to you, and you say, from Allah we came, into Allah we return again. And أُولَٰئِكَ عَلَيْهِمْ صَلَوَاتٍ مِّن رَبِّهِمْ وَرَحْمَةٍ. Then those people have special mercy from their Lord. وَأُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْمُهْتَدُونَ. And they are the people who are guided. You know, so it's important to empower yourself with that. Because really, I mean, you're never powerless, ever. If nothing else works, you can still make dua silently, right? As long as you can think and your heart is alive, you can make dua. So you're never actually powerless. And that's the message that I try to give people. It's empowerment, you know. You can never say that the Muslims are powerless. It's silly, you know. You can talk to Allah, who's better than Allah to talk to, you know what I mean? So you call your MP, congressman, and this man, and that one, and the third one. And they may or may not help you, but Allah always listens, you know.
Allah, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah.
Welcome back. That was a wonderful report, very powerful. Brother, I was going to go to my right to complete what you were saying, but I want to go to my left to introduce these brothers and get their thoughts on that video, because I really love that sheikh and what he said. It's really touching, actually. Brother Waleed, go ahead, introduce yourself and give me your thoughts on that video.
MashaAllah, to see someone that's blind and reading Quran is very, number one, inspirational, because obviously the ability for someone to memorize Quran and read Quran and not be able to see it it shows the commitment that person has to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how much he's willing to strive to, you know, learn the Quran, and it just encourage you to, alhamdulillah, want to strive more. And subhanallah, to show that, you know, it comes to show the huda of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that He guides who He wills. And the fact that He guided a blind person to Islam, and he didn't need to see the evidence, but rather he, when he's read the ayah, like he mentioned, he read the ayah and it made sense to him straight away. And subhanAllah, it just comes to show that the guidance from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has so much, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I don't know how to explain so much power, or so much,
It's powerful.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
Or like, for instance, look, subhanAllah, I'll give you a prime example, like the Prophet's uncle, Abu Muttalib. He protected the Prophet, he looked after him, when Quraysh wanted to come and, defeat him, and while he was dying on his deathbed, the Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, loved him so much, and he said to him, just accept Islam. And the uncle didn't want to accept Islam for, because he felt, that what would Quraysh say about him accepting Islam. He was, and this person was going, protecting Islam, as you can say, because he was protecting the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and Allah did not guide him. But He guided, this blind person by reading one verse.
Yeah.
Subhanallah.
I love it too, because it shows you, like, a lot of us turn our backs for Allah when the calamity hits.
Yeah.
But this man is suffering from a major. This is something very difficult to deal with, being blind, and the man has total faith in Allah, subhanallah. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
And he said, I like what he said, brother, when he said, I'm not blind, but I just can't see.
Yeah.
When I heard that ayah, that was a confirmation for me. I thought that was a beauty. I really hope we can bring him to the channel, actually. I hope to do that if if the Sheikh is available. Brother, go ahead, brother. Introduce yourself and tell me what you thought about that video.
Yeah. Assalamu alaikum. And my name is Sulaiman Bari, and I'm going to tell you about blind heart. Inshallah, like, there's some people, like, they used to did something, but the heart is not clear. Okay? So, like, if you are doing something, try to make sure your heart are clear. Like, we can say the hadith, إِنَّمَا الْأَعْمَالُ بِالنِّيَّاتِ وَإِنَّمَا لِكُلِّ امْرِئٍ مَا نَوَى. Like, the make sure, like, to make sure the place, like, if you are doing niyyah, it's not into your lips, it's inside your heart.
Yes.
Okay? So everything, if you are trying to do it like by clear.
Barakallahu feek. Thank you, brother. We're going to take a short break, you guys, and we'll be right back, so stay tuned for more Let's Talk.
My eyes and I praise. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi. Subhanallahi. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to Let's Talk. We're joined by my friends from all around the world. We're talking about blind hearts. Brother, you had in the beginning of the program, in the first segment, you mentioned an ayah. I would like you to read it again, inshallah.
Okay. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ومن كان في هذه أعمى فهو في الآخرة أعمى وأضل السبيل.
Meaning?
It means that whoever blind in this life, it means whoever blind in this world,
Yeah.
the life, this life, will be more blind in the next. The next means in Yawm al-Qiyamah.
Okay.
This one.
Thank you, brother. And then we watched a beautiful report, didn't we, Sulaiman Walid, about the sheikh that was blind, who said, I'm not blind, I just can't see. And the people that are blind, according to the ayah he quoted us, are the people that can't see with their hearts. I think it's really amazing. It was a wonderful video.
Yeah.
I really respect that sheikh so much. Brother Mukhtar, Allah says in Surah Al-Baqarah, في قلوبهم مرض
ختم الله
فزادهم. Can you explain this ayah and talk about the black spots on the heart as well? Walid, go ahead.
Allah says, في قلوبهم مرض فزادهم الله مرضا ولهم عذاب أليم بما كانوا يكذبون. Allah says, there's a sickness to their heart, so Allah will increase that sickness to their wish, to their demands, because of their bad deeds, because of their
Lies.
not accepting the truth, because of their lies.
Okay.
And that great thing gives us a window to see why people keep moving from bad to worse.
SubhanAllah.
SubhanAllah,
Yeah.
Allah is giving them the chance to go back at any time and give tawbah and reveal their heart to Allah, and they can redeem and start a new life. But when they go to the bad thing, to bad deeds, and their heart, think of it like a white flower, a white paper, and once you start scratching it and make it black, and it start making it worse and worse, it's filled with sickness, it's filled with deeds and characters that will make you worse. Things that could blind your heart, like envy, something that Islam is trying to prohibit. Islam is trying to close us from being envious. Subhanallah, the Prophet Muhammad is saying, don't be envious, لا تحاسدوا. So it's judging us of the things that could prohibit us from seeing others and connect and have relationship with others. Because once you are envious of others, you don't only hate them or have a bad feeling or a malice eye toward them, but you also want them to fail. You want them to have misfortune. And if you go back to the first crime committed on earth, the murder of Cain and Abel, it was because of hasad, the Arabic word, the root Arabic word of envy. And the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was trying to clear our heart from that bad habit, from that bad eye.
Okay. Barakallahu Feek. Thank you, brother. And of course, the heart's a sponge, so what it collects, it affects it. Brother Wali, do you want to speak about black spots on the heart?
Yeah,
go ahead.
In terms of the heart, people don't realize that it's the most powerful muscle or organ, you could say, in your body.
Yes, as per the hadith, yeah? But go ahead.
Yeah, so basically, every sin we do, it affects, or not every, but there's some specific sins that we can do that affects the heart, which can be backbiting, you know,
envy, as the brother Mukhtar said.
Envious, and each time we do that sin, it puts a dot on the heart, which makes the heart darker, blacker, and so on and so on. And at times, this heart, it can become hardened as well. Hardened, meaning, for instance, example, you or anyone else can be walking down the street. You can be walking down the street with someone, for example. Like you and your friend, you're walking down the street, and you might look at a woman, but because you fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you lower your gaze. You don't look at her. But as for coming, you know, from a non-Muslim perspective, he might have looked so much that his heart is black already, that he's used to it. It doesn't even bother him. Looking at women is not even a problem for him because he's so used to it. But as for us, you know, we're always praying, we're always making tawbah, we're always asking Allah to forgive us, you know, we're always trying to maintain, to have a pure heart. And, you know, it's hard for us, you know, to maintain it. But as for the non-Muslim, he might just sinned so much that his heart is just used to it, and his heart is black, and there's nothing else to fill it, and you know, looking at a woman or doing another sin, it might not even affect him, because you know.
Yeah, as he said, bad to worse. Even as Muslims, you feel when your man's lower, you start doing stuff that you should. It gets, I don't know how to explain it, but it gets worse and worse, and it becomes normal. It becomes acceptable.
It becomes the norm.
Yeah, but before I go to Brother Sulaiman, I want to go back to Brother Abdul Hakim. You had a lot of points that you want to mention, brother. Go ahead.
I would like to share some information. The sign of blind hurts. The first one is negligence of Allah. It means that this hurt, which full of doubt, that with himself he's become his mind some questions that Allah who create Allah who create.
Yeah, He creates everything.
Like that. The second one is advice has no effected. That when you advise to your brother, they don't know. But does they, okay, keep talking.
Where he rejects your advice, for example.
this one.
Okay.
Take it on board.
Right.
And the third one, no guilty or pain when sin committed. Instead, pleasure in peace of mind. That when he done a wrong thing, that after that he become a peace, and he think that I'm good in like that. And the fourth one is discomfort. Discomfort being in the company of the rightness,
Yes.
comfort of the corrupt. It means that someone in masjid, there is a halqa, there is a meeting, Islamic meetings. After that, someone invite that come on into to this meeting. After that, when he come, after that, he's not feeling comfortable. That, oh, look, there is talking about Islam in hadith, like that. And he thought with himself that if this place or in this place we're talking about the girl, the woman, the luxury, the just thinking
Bad stuff.
Yeah, enjoyment,
stuff.
like that. And opposite of this, how can we care of our blind heart? How can? What is the care?
Okay.
The first one is remember of Allah. By what? Remember of Allah by astaghfirullah,
Yeah,
alhamdulillah, subhanallah wa bihamdihi, subhanallah al-azim, by this. And reciting of the Quran, the Holy Quran, by that. It's not that you every day recite part of Quran. It is not
Must. It's not a must.
it's not must, but you recite one page, half page, like that. That continue the
It's like a medicine for your heart.
relationship. Yes.
SubhanAllah. Yeah.
There's an ayah on it. Maybe
Go ahead.
can mention the ayah that reciting Quran
Shifa,
it
yeah.
brings tranquility to your heart, remembering Allah and or something like this. I don't remember the. I remember the maybe the bro.
Remember it and say it.
Inshallah.
Think of it now.
Barakallahu feek, brother. And also, Brother Suleiman, what are your thoughts, brother?
Inshallah. And then there's no like difference between living and that. Inspect dhikr of Allah.
Barakallahu feek. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Say it one more time for the viewers. One more time. The
Like-
difference between the living and the dead
Like,
is?
there is no like difference between living and dead. Expect of dhikr of Allah.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you, brother. And also,
ألا
go ahead.
بذكر الله لتطمئن القلوب.
That is the ayah. ألا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب. By praising God and by remembering God,
Yeah.
the hearts feel the inner peace.
That's amazing.
And
Yeah.
that brings the point that the Quran saying, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الرسول لا يحزنك الذين يسارعون في الكفر من الذين قالوا آمنا بأفواههم ولم تؤمن قلوبهم. O Prophet, don't have grief for those who have said or have the face only by saying, but not deep in heart and not by actions. And that's a great point, because now there are many Muslims only by name, but their heart, their actions is not reflected as a good Muslim. And that character that Islam is trying to make you the best, to give you the best, and to clarify and purify your heart, to give you inner peace. And you are trying to see it, you are trying to go through it. And the Quran complete and say, وَمَن يقولون إن أوتيتم هذا فخذوه وإن لم تؤتوه فاحذروا ومن يرد الله فتنته فلن تملك له من الله شيئا أولئك الذين لم يرد الله أن يطهر قلوبهم لهم في الدنيا خزي ولهم في الآخرة عذاب عظيم. They say, if you are giving that, if you are giving the light, and then they didn't take it, so Allah have given them the test, but they have failed, and you cannot avail him anything against Allah. They are the ones whose hearts Allah did not desire to purify. For them it's disgrace in this world and in the afterlife. So it's again, it's your heart to have, and it's your heart to purify, and it is your heart. Allah say, فَتَرَى الَّذِينَ فِي قُلُوبِهِم مَّرَضٌ يُسَارِعُونَ فِيهِمْ يَقُولُونَ نَخْشَىٰ أَن تُصِيبَنَا دَائِرَةٌ فعسى الله أن يأتي بالفتح أو أمر من عنده فيصبحوا على ما أسروا في أنفسهم نادمين. When the Prophet used to go for futuhat, for Islamic victories, you see those who have sickness in their heart rushing to the Prophet, trying not to accept the hard work. And I try to relate it to people now when we tell them you have to struggle to remain away from temptation and desires. They say we fear lest a turn of a fortune should visit us. They are feeling that if they do that, they will miss something. But in fact, they are already missing something. They don't have their heart being purified, and they have the disability of the heart. It is not, they say the worst disability is not the physical disability, but the mental and the psychological disability, that if you don't have, no one can give it to you.
Barakallahu feek, brother. In the next segment, perhaps we could talk a little bit about your experience now as a physician. I believe you said you're in your last year of internship, inshallah ta'ala, and soon you will become practicing.
Inshallah.
So you treat this from the physical perspective, but let's talk about it more from the spiritual perspective in the next break. But before we do go to a break, brother Sulaiman, you bring the great hadith.
Yeah.
The difference between the living and the dead is the remembrance of Allah. Brother Walid, let me get your thoughts on that before we go to the break, and talk about walking in the streets of London as you look from your right to your left and your left to your right, keeping that in mind. What do you see?
What?
And when you see the difference between the living and the dead is the remembrance of Allah. I mean, that's an amazing.
Like, for instance, the living of the dead, they're not conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They don't know what their purpose is. They don't know. They just have their normal routine, like robots. They wake up, go to work, come back, sleep.
Yeah.
Nothing. No thinking why we're here, what we're doing here, and
Like dead men walking.
like a dead man, literally dead man walking,
Right.
like literally, and they misguided, and given dawah at times on the streets of London, people, you might offer the service of saying, okay, ask me anything about Islam that you might have doubt about. You ask the non-Muslim, ask me anything about Islam. As soon as like things like giving a scenario, when I used to give dawah in London, and I used to say, okay, if there's anything in Islam you want to ask, you can ask me. And I used to approach people on the street. We had the dawah table and stuff, and I used to approach people on the street, and some people, when they approach them, they're like, no, just Jesus. Jesus. Like, they will just walk up. They don't want to know. They don't. They're just like, okay, subhanallah. And we make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, guide all of us, and make us on the right path, because the severe punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I wouldn't wish that upon anyone.
Yes, thank you, brother. Barakallahu feek, yes.
Yeah, I wouldn't wish the severe punishment on anyone, subhanallah, because even me, I feel sorry for myself, and me, I'm, alhamdulillah, I try my best to be Muslim, to strive, and I feel I fail at times. And so imagine the non-Muslim that he doesn't even consider, like, he might just wake up and behave like, astaghfirullah, maybe like an animal, have no purpose.
Right.
Like the animal,
The same feelings, the same understanding the Prophet had when Allah say, فَلَعَلَّكَ بَاخِعُ نَفْسَكَ أَلَّا يَكُونُ مُؤْمِنِينَ. You are feeling the agony and the heart aching because they are not believing in you.
Yes.
You are feeling they are wasting their life, and you try to guide them to purify their hearts and open their eyes to see the truth.
Barakallahu feek, we're going to take a short break, and I just want to tell you, Walid, thank you so much, because we hear a lot of people say, oh, they're disbelievers, let them go. But I like what you said. Hey, we feel sorry for them. We ask Allah to give them guidance, because we don't want anybody to see the wrath of Allah. So thank you so much. You guys stay tuned. We'll be right back after this short break.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallahi wa bihamdihi, Subhanallahi wa how perfect you are, Allah, Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Every time you sit for halqa or dhikr, especially in the masjid, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will provide us with the following. نزلت عليهم السكينة, tranquility. You feel like peace of mind, comfort for your eyes whenever you're sitting in the halqa, in the masjid. غشيتهم الرحمة. Allah covers this gathering with His mercy. وحفتهم الملائكة, that was stated in the previous hadith, and the angels will surround them. وذكرهم الله في من عنده.
Don't miss Dr. Muhammad Salah's all-new weekly program, Gardens of the Pious, live from 9 to 10 p.m. Mecca time every Wednesday night, only on Huda TV.
Subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Welcome back to Let's Talk. Brother Mukhtar, Dr. Mukhtar. We talk about a lot in this day and age about the physical symptoms of the heart, and we go to our physicians and our medical practitioners and we ask them, can I take this pill and that pill? Do I need open heart surgery? Do I need a valve or a transplant or this stuff? So so we know their symptoms. The doctor knows their symptoms and he treats them appropriately, accordingly. So what about the diseased heart in the spiritual sense? What are some of its symptoms, you guys, and what are its treatments, inshallah? Let's go from right to left. Go ahead.
Great. We always think of the human body not only as physically, but spiritually. And once you have them in balance, you could have a healthy life. This is now the modern medicine, the body and heart medicine, the body and mind medicine. If your mind and your heart, the inner self of you are not in complete compatibility with the outer you, the physical you will feel disease. The disease always starts in the mind. If you have a positive mind, you could beat disease. We have many cases that people have a positive attitude and good health and good faith, and they beat a disease that is uncurable.
A physical disease.
Physical disease,
okay.
Like cancer.
Okay.
People survive cancer just because they have faith in life and have that mental positive attitude that they could beat it, and they put their faith in Allah. So we need people to always, and now in practice when we speak to people, we give attention not only to the physical signs that we see in them, but we ask them, what do they do for a living? What do they do with their problem? What are the major problems they are seeing? We are trying to analyze their life, to understand what might also giving them that disease. It's not only somatic, not only coming from the body, but it's coming from your spiritual life. If you have a good spiritual life, you also can not only beat disease and not have a disease, but you could live a healthy life.
Barakallahu Fiqh. Thank you, brother.
You're welcome.
Brother Abdul Hakim, what do you think about the symptoms, the signs of a diseased heart or a blind heart?
Okay.
And what are its cures? What has Allah given us in the Quran and the Sunnah to cure the heart and to prevent it from happening in the first place? Also, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. إن في جسد مضغة إذا صلحت صلح جسد كله وإذا فسد جسد كله ألا وهي القلب. Indeed, there is a clamber or flashing of body. If become a good, the whole body.
Thank you, brother. Yes.
The whole body become a good. If it become a bad, the whole body become a bad, because it is hurt in the human. It's like a king.
Yes.
It's like a king. In Afghani people, when they are talking and they tell us we qalb pachade, it means that the hurt is king. It's like that.
Okay, thank you, brother. Okay, excellent. Brother Wali, what are the signs that the heart is diseased, and what are the cures for it? What has Allah given us in the Quran and the Sunnah?
MashaAllah, tabarakallah. One of the things that the people don't realize when it comes to healing is only one person that can heal you, and it's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we can't turn to go to a psychology or medicine or pharmacy or get special medicine for it. It's only from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So that comes to show that we have to turn to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala first. And second, there's many things from the Sunnah that we can do. And one of the things that, for instance, the brother mentioned earlier about, hasad, being envious or magic and all of this stuff. And you can do ruqya, a thing called ruqya, which is a spiritual healing by reading Quran and these things. And this comes to show that the Quran itself has power enough to protect you from any evil eye, from hasad, anyone being envious from you, and and always remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and remembering, and like for instance the brothers mentioned the dua earlier, oh Allah, make my heart firm on,
on your deen,
on my deen.
قلبي على دينك.
Yeah, so I don't know the translation, maybe you can translate it, inshallah.
And then the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, is saying, oh Allah, make my heart only giving to you, only attach it to you, because there is a hadith saying that Allah has the humanity hearts in His hand, that He could change it just like this. Now, you brought up a good point, and actually there is a scientific research that says that people in the ICU are improving, people who know Quran and people who don't know Quran are improving if there is a Quran recitation in the ICU. So there is something that we don't know. It's something amazing. We don't know about it, but it's actually effective.
Right.
So what about if you are healthy? You got that a chance to read Quran to purify your heart, and people try to pray with a short surah and just to finish the prayer. That was not the main cause and the main purpose of prayer. It's prayer to connect you with and disconnect you from the earth and connect you with the higher calling with God. That is how the Prophet was escaping from everything and saying to Bilal, "Rihna biha ya Bilal." Make us feel comfort by praying. We need people to go back to the same purpose of prayer, not only to pray and do the fards, the demands that you have to do, but to feel it.
Yeah, to experience the truth. Thank
experience
you. And brother, as we said earlier also, the Quran in itself is reciting the Quran is a healing. It's also a preventative measure, brother. As you said, ruqyah, right?
Ruqyah, reciting Quran. You can even perform. It's so simple that the deen is easy. You can even recite Quran on yourself. There's many effective way of performing ruqyah. And it's so simple. It just takes a few minutes of your time, pick up the Quran, read it. You don't even need to pick it up. If you memorize, mashallah, the brother here, mashallah, memorized the whole Quran. You just, pick certain verses out of the Quran, and just repeat it,
Yeah.
And, always remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and also remembering the dhikr of Allah, and this will help you to repel the shaitan, meaning it will be like a fence against
a fortress, like a little book of supplications,
like Husn Muslim, the book Fortress of a Muslim, which is like is guarding against
Allah.
And this got a lot of dhikr in that, reciting your morning dhikr, evening dhikr, always trying to remember Allah as much as you can.
Thank you so much, brother Sulaiman. Your thoughts, brother? Go ahead.
Yeah, inshallah. And we have many of Muslim people, they have many millions of money, but they're scared to build some things like mosques or some schools or some companies in to Muslim countries. So they go or they leave their money into Christian.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So and God to say, وَعَلَى اللَّهِ فَتَوَكَّلُوا إِن كُنتُم مُؤْمِنِينَ. Then when you are doing a decision, trust God. So don't or there's some people they just doing building some many things. But they don't know, maybe they're building some things, but he is Muslim, but he don't know what to do. See, because his heart is blind, you see.
What's the symptom? What's the answer for him?
He needs to take advice, to go or to check his friend or the people who's around him, or to ask the sheikhs who's going to give him how he's going to use his money. And then, because you can find many people have a lot of money, but they did this, but they come home back, they are not happy, you see.
Yeah.
So you have to be careful about that. So.
Thank you, brother. And we mentioned the supplications, which is wonderful. The small book, Fortress of the Muslim. You can probably even find it online. Actually, I don't know, but it's very cheap and it's available everywhere. So how important is the simple supplications? And we have many supplications from the Sunnah for every kind of circumstance you can find yourself in. You can certainly find a supplication for that.
Right.
So how important is that? Or you can even memorize a couple small, all-encompassing supplications, which are very helpful as well. We can talk about that, brother. How important is that for us to constantly remember Allah through azkar and supplications?
It's very important to have your heart attached always to Allah, to have your life always submitted to Allah, to feel that everything you do in your life, you're actually living it and doing it, to have your heart purified, and you have to have yourself attached to the higher calling of Allah. So when you do anything, you start by saying Bismillah. You are relating it to Allah and by the name of Allah. And when you see something good with something else, you say MashaAllah. You are also relating everything that to God's wise. And when you go to the bathroom, you say something before you get in. And when you eat, you start eating, you thank Allah for the food. Everything you do in your life is usually must be attached remembering Allah. Because if you do this, you are not lying to yourself. Once you disconnect yourself from this, you are starting to fill that part in your life with lies. And Allah saying in the Quran, انظر كيف كذبوا على أنفسهم وضل عنهم ما كانوا يفترون. Look how they forswear themselves, they lied to themselves, and what they used to fabricate has forsaken them. What have been their lying to fill their hearts and their lives with that? How that has forsaken them from the good path. And the Quran says, وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَسْتَمِعُ إِلَيْكَ وَجَعَلْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ أَكِنَّةً أَنْ يَفْقَهُوهُ وَفِي آذَانِهِمْ وَقْرًا. There are some of them who will listen to you. They have ears, but there is a cast, there is a veil on their heart. They cannot understand what they say. They cannot relate to what you see, and that will make their heart hardens. Qaswatul qalb. The heart is now not feeling like others. وَلَوْلَا إِذْ جَاءَهُمْ بَأْسُنَا تَضَرَّعُوا ولكن قست قلوبهم. When they got on a struggle or something hard in their life, they turn to Allah, but their hearts has hardened, so they cannot do this anymore. They are disattaching themselves from going back and relating their heart and their life to Allah.
Barakallahu feek, brother.
Okay.
Let's speak from a different perspective. How about controlling the heart? Because I hear a lot of people say, they did something very bad, and they'll say, look, I'm just following my heart. And, they call it, I'm in love. They call it love and romance, and they say, I'm following the heart. What we call it, So, what about, how important is it as a Muslim? You have to control your heart and know that Allah has set boundaries and limits on me, and I can't simply follow what my heart desires. How important is that? Brother, if we can go to you.
Okay, Hazrat Muhammad taught us that dua, that Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, اللهم إني أعوذ بك من قلب لا يغشى ومن دعاء لا يسمع ومن نفس لا تشبع ومن العلم لا ينفع أعوذ بك من هؤلاء أربع. It means, O Allah, I seek refuge from you, hearts without the fearing of Allah. And it means that, O Allah, refuge me from the hurt that is not inside of the fear of Allah.
Yeah, great.
And I pray unanswered and satisfied soul, nafs, and knowledge without benefit. Without benefits.
SubhanAllah. We're living in that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much knowledge but no benefits. SubhanAllah.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
I seek a refuge from these four. Because this the satisfies of soul, nafs. It is very important. If the blind heart, he is making a dua for Allah, the Allah will answer this dua? No, because he is a blind heart.
Yeah, of course.
Like that.
Thank you, brother. We have about a minute left, brothers. Wrap it up for us, Waleed, brother Suleiman.
I was going to say, in terms of, someone doing something based on how they feel, sometimes you have to question yourself and question the fact that if I'm going to do this specific action because my heart tells me to do it, is it going to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? That's one. And two, you make sure that you don't do it because of your desires. But sometimes, You know, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Surah Baqarah, He says sometimes something that you think is good for you,
Thank you.
really is bad for you. And something that you think is bad for you, really is good for you. We don't know what Allah knows.
Yeah, thank you.
You understand? For instance, you might be ill, and the only cure is that is medicine, but you don't like the medicine.
Yeah.
But for you to get better, you have to take the medicine.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we have to, you know, those two things are important. You have to tie them together, which is, you know, make sure it's not for your desires,
Yeah.
and make sure that, you know, whatever you do, you please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because this has always come to, you know, you try to please Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala.
Thank you, brother, because we do see that sometimes that's non-Muslims, they have that, and sometimes Muslims as well, they follow their heart because they think this is correct, even if it's not. Brother Sunnah, we're out of time. Brother, you have a quick comment?
I have the final thing to wrap it up. Allah says in the Quran, وَلَقَدْ ذَرَأْنَا لِجَهَنَّمَ كَثِيرًا مِنَ الْجِنِّ وَالْإِنسِ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ لَا يَفْقَهُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ أَعْيُنٌ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ بِهَا وَلَهُمْ آذَانٌ لَا يَسْمَعُونَ بِهَا أُولَئِكَ كَالْأَنْعَامِ بَلْ هُمْ أَضَلُّ أُولَئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. That certainly we have created hellfire for those from jinn and humans who have hearts that they do not use, so they do not understand and comprehend, and they don't have that they have eyes but they cannot see, and they have ears but they cannot hear. They are like cattle, they are like animals, they are, rather than being humans, they are astray. أُولَٰئِكَ هُمُ الْغَافِلُونَ. It is these people who had heedless.
Dr. Tawfiq, thank you for ending the program on that note. I certainly appreciate it. You guys at home, thank you for watching Let's Talk. We certainly hope you benefited from this episode. Until next time, I leave you in the care of Allah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
How perfect my Allah is, and I praise Him. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi. Subhanallah. How perfect you are, Allah. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah, I'm calling your name. Allah, I call you, I need you. Allahu Akbar. Allah, your mercy is great.